Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I am going to read S5 5071 Junie B first grader Cheeto Pants, Chapter 5. The Note. The night at dinner I couldn't swallow my meatball. Because how can you swallow meatball when there's note from your teacher in your pocket? Mother kept on looking at my plate. What's the trouble with you tonight, honey? You love spaghetti and meatball. I picked up my fork real slow. Then I put it right down again. Is something wrong, Junie? Are you sick? I got down from my chair and I stood by the table. Then I hanged my head and very slow I took the note out of my pocket. I did something bad at school today, I said real glum. So there is something I have to give you. I rocked back and forth on my feet for a minute, then I quick threw the note on the table. I ran to my room as fast as I could. I shut the door real hard. Then I ran around in circle because I didn't actually have a plan. That's why my stuffed animals looked shocked at me. What's wrong, Junie? Said my raggedy and named Ruth. Are you in trouble? Of course she's in trouble, said my raggedy and named Larry. Can't you tell me? I bet Mother and Daddy are going to be running in here any second. My elephant named Philip Johnny Bob did fast thinking. Hide, Junie, he told me. Hide in the closet until they calm themselves down. I nodded at that. Good idea. Elephant are the smartest stuffed animals there is. After that, I quick grabbed him by his foot and we ran into my closet. We climbed over shoes and games. Then we scrunched way down in the corner. Pretty soon we heard Mother and Daddy come in my room. Heart started to pound and pound. Then we tried to scrunch even smaller. Only too bad for us. Bob accidentally knocked over a shoebox and it made a loud crashing sound. Mother and Daddy opened the closet door. I waved at them real pleasant. How are you today? I love you people, he said. Daddy rolled his eyes. Then he came into the closet and he carried us out. He set me and Philip Johnny Bob on my bed. Mother sat next to us. You didn't have to hide from us, Johnny B. Daddy and I didn't come to yell at you. We just came in to talk about this. I flopped the back of my bed and I put my pillow on my head. Yeah, only I already did talk about this. Mother, I said real muffly. Me and Mr. Scary talked about this for a jillion million hours at recess. Yes, I'm sure you did, but Daddy and I need to talk to you too. Junie, copying someone else's work is a very serious matter, honey. Cheating is wrong. We want to make sure you understand that. I did a big breath at the man, but I already do understand that, Daddy. I don't even like cheaters myself. Then all of a sudden I remembered about the old maid. I said right up. And anyway, if you think cheating is so wrong, then how come you do it yourself? I said. Huh, Daddy? Huh? What? What are you talking about? I don't cheat. Yes, you do cheat. On account of last week, you cheated me at Old Maid, and I still not over that terrible experience. Junie, that's not true. I already explained that to you, remember? When you raise that Old Maid above the other cards in your hand, it's not cheating, it's part of the fun. Yeah, only it wasn't fun. It wasn't because after you raised her up there, you did a wink at me like it wasn't really her. Only it was her, Daddy. So what kind of sneaky trick was that? Daddy rolled his eyes way up at the ceiling, then he shook his head, kind of annoyed, and he left my room. Sorry, honey, but I'm afraid Daddy is right on this one. What he did was sneaky, but it wasn't cheating. Trying to fool the other person is supposed to be part of the game. After that, she went to go stop my bath water. Me and Philip Johnny flopped the back on my pillow. We did aside because grown-ups never do anything wrong, it seems. Not even when they do. Chapter 6, Tin Can. The next morning, I sat next to Herb on the bus. I sit next to him every single day. On account of that's what bestest friends automatically do. Herb started talking about his new dog, Dilly. And only I couldn't even pay attention that good. Because how can you talk about Dilly when you have still got a note from the teacher in your pocket? Mother and Daddy had signed that dumb thing, and now I had to take it back to Mr. Scary. I slumped way down in my seat. School was not being fun these days. I looked at Herb. I wished I could tell him about my problem. Only what if he didn't like cheaters and he found out I was one? And then he didn't like me either. I thought and real hard. Then finally I took a deep breath and I decided to risk it. I leaned real close to his ear and I whispered to him very secret. Here's the situation, her. I'm a little bit of trouble at school. Only I am really not bad. I promise. Just that yesterday I accidentally did something wrong. But I don't actually want to tell you what it was, or else you might not like me anymore. Hope looked at me and shrugged. You copied May's homework. When she went to the office, he said. I did a gasp at that boy. Because how did he know that private information? I scratched my head. But how did you even? Herb interrupted me. I saw you. Lenny and Jose saw you too. You're a terrible snake, Junie B. Really terrible. I mean, I did a little frown. That was not a compliment, possibly. Don't worry. We still like you. Just don't copy May's homework anymore, and then you won't get in any more trouble. I nodded my head. Then I pat him back. Herb is good for me, I think. Me and her walked to room one together. Then we stopped right in our first step because wowie, the whole room looked different, I tell you. Instead of being in rows, all of the desks were arranged in groups of circles. We looked in the back to see where we sit. There were 5 desks in our group. May was already in her seat. She was cleaning her desktop with a moist towelette. Just then Lenny and Jose walked in behind us. Whoa, what's going on here? Said Jose. He told us to please find the desk and he will explain this in a minute. All of us went back and sat down. Sitting in a circle feels friendly. We waved and smiled at each other, only not May. She looked smuggy at us. I already know why we are sitting like this. She said I was the first one here this morning, and when you're first, you get to know stuff. Jose stared at a moist toilet. He made a cuckoo sign. Mr. Scary went to the board, and he wrote a weird word. Boys and girls, this morning we are going to be doing a poetry assignment. That's why I arranged your desk like this. I want you to be able to talk over your thoughts and share ideas. He pointed at the weird word, spelled as sin quain. Does anyone want to try pronounce it? Tin can, right? It's pronounced tin can. She grinned real delighted. I know it's tin can because you told me that this morning, remember? I was the first one here, and I saw you write it on the board, and you told me it was pronounced tin can. Mr. Scary looked puzzled at her. Gee, I'm sorry, May, but it's not tin can. He said, you must not have heard me correctly. This word is pronounced the word in sin and cane, sin cane. May crossed her arms. No, I'm sure that's not what you told me. You said it was tin can, Mr. Scary. You know you did. Frown. No, May, I didn't. Now please take your seat. May sat down in a huff. She put her head on her desk and hid under her sweater. Mr. Scary looked back to the board. A cinquain is a poem that has 5 lines, and each line has its own special rules. First line, 1 word. Second line, 2 words that describe the title. Third line, 3 action words about the title. Fourth line, 4 words that express a thought or feeling about the title. Fifth line, 1 word that means the same thing as the title. He wrote a cinquain for us to see. It was a poem called The Pickle. Pickle, bumpy lumpy. Crunching, munching, lunching. Cucumbers making you pucker. A gherkin. I laughed at that crazy thing, 'cause whoever heard of a pickle poem? Writing a cinquain is fun, I said. This summer will be a breeze, I think. He smiled. Well, sometimes poems come very easily, Junie, and other times they don't. But if you share words and ideas with each other, you can really help sparkle your imagination. He looked all around. In fact, I thought it might be fun for some of you to write your poem as a team, he said. Mickey came out from under her sweater at that news. She looked at our group. Okay, fine, I'll be the team leader, she told us. After that, she made a mean face at Mr. Scary. And she took out a pencil. I know just what we are going to write about, too. She waved her hands at us. You guys just talk about the normal stupid stuff, and I'll write the poem, she said. I'll read it to you when I get done. Lenny looked disappointed. But Mr. Scary said we should write a poem together, May. See, we're supposed to share thoughts and ideas, remember? May threw her hands in the air. I knew it. I knew working in the team wouldn't work fine. You guys just write your own dumb poem and I'll write mine. She took a pencil and paper and she hid under her sweater again. All of us looked at each other and shrugged and we started right to work. I tapped on my chin. It says the first line needs to be the title, so maybe the title should come first. The Jose covered her up again. Just then Herb raised his hand. Hey, I know. Since Mr. Scardy wrote a pickle poem, why don't we write one about an olive? He leaned back in his chair and did a happy thumbs up. No one did a thumbs up back. What kind of dumb idea was that? An olive? I said, I hate olives. I threw up an olive once, said Annie. I patted him. Don't be bad. Just that maybe there's something funnier to write about than an olive, that's all. See, like maybe you could write about soccer. Playing soccer is fun. Yeah, plus riding the bus to school is fun too. Me and you always have fun on the bus, don't we? Lenny shook his head, but I don't ride the bus, Junie. I think we should write about something that all of us know about. He thought for a second, then he clapped his hands together. I know we could write about how all of us shampoo our hair to keep it healthy and shiny. All of us do that, right? Me and Jose and Robert looked at it because sometimes Lenny's off the deep end. That's why finally Jose put his head on his desk. Baby, we're making this too hard. Why can't we just write about something easy like about how all of us are friends or something? Yeah, that's a good idea. We could write about the four of us. We could call it Friends. Jose smiled. See? Amigos. Just then I bounced up and down real excited. The perfect title just hit me. It hits me right out of the clear blue sky. The Pallies. Let's call it Pallies. That's what we are. All of us are Betsy's Pallies. Pallies sounds like a cute title, don't you think? I looked at them real hopeful. Started to say a poem was off to great start. Pallies. We worked on our poems for the whole entire morning almost. And Mr. Scuddy was right. Sharing idea did help spark our imagination. Plus, all of us got to add our own special words to our poem. That's called good teamwork. After we got done, I printed a poem on a clean piece of paper. Len and Jose and her watched me real careful. I'm an excellent printer, I told her. I can print with the best of them. Pretty soon all of the other children in the room will finish their poems too. And good news, Mrs. Scary said there was time to read some of our poems to the class. Lucille didn't wait to get called out. She went right to the front of the room. She made squinty eyes at Camille and Chanel. I wanted to write my poem with two girls in my group, but all they wanted to write about was twins, twin, twin. The whole world is not just about you two, you know? She grouched. She fluffed a lacy dress and she read her poem. Me, rich Lucille, shopping, buying, spending. Everyone's jealous of myself, princess. After she was finished, Mrs. Skitty sat there for a second, then she smiled and nodded. Good, Lucille. Yes, excellent. That poem really says it all, doesn't it? Yes, then she did another mean look at the twin and she sat back down. May didn't want to be called on either. She ran to the front of the room. She hollered out her poem real loud. Tin can, can. I have perfect hearing. And Mr. Scary told me it was tin can. He did, he really did. Mr. Scary rubbed his chin. Yes, well, that certainly was an interesting poem idea. But it didn't really follow the rules of cinquain, did it? You mean tin can? Did aside, and he got up from his desk and he walked me back to her seat. There was time for one more poem. My group waved our hands all around in the air. We have a good one, hollered Jose. A really good one, Mr. Scary nodded at us, and so all of us jumped up. We stood in our group, and we read our poem with all of our voices. Pallies, charming, happy, joking, jellying, sharing. Foo amigos, all together, friendship. A plus, we got an A plus on our poem. Mr. Scary came right back to our desk. And he took his red pencil and he wrote an A plus right on top of our paper. What a wonderful poem you guys wrote. I loved that. We jumped and clapped for ourselves. It was the funniest morning I ever saw, and that's not all, 'cause lunch and recess kept on being fun too. After recess, I hurried back to room one 'cause I couldn't wait to see what happy assignment we would do next. I skipped in the room and looked at the board. And then, boom, I came to a screechy stop on account of the board. Had two terrible words on it. It said spelling test. I forgot all about that stupid thing. The dumb test was supposed to be last Friday, and then it got put off till today. So how was I even supposed to remember that last night? I was worried about my note. Of course. My legs felt weakish and limpish. Very slow, I dragged my feet back to my seat. The desks were back to normal again. Herb was already sitting down. He turned around and looked at me. What's wrong, Junie B? He asked. Don't you feel good? I laid my head on my desk. I forgot to study my spelling words last night. Now I'm gonna be in trouble with mother and daddy again. I did a whine. This is the whole dumb problem with school. 1 minute you're all joyful and happy, and the next minute the joy gets flushed right out of you. Help try to make me feel better. Don't worry, most of the words are easy this week. He paused for a second, sort of. 'Cause sort of doesn't mean really. In the front of the room, Mr. Scary was passing out paper. Is everybody ready for a spelling test this week? He winked. Since you had 4 extra nights to study, I'm sure everyone will get a perfect grade, right? My stomach turned into a knot ball at that comment. Pretty soon the test began. He pronounced the first spelling word and he used it in a sentence. Fox. The fox is running through the woods. Fox. I perked up a little bit because I know how to spell fox, of course. I printed it very neat on my paper. Fox. The next word is box, said Mrs. Skitty. I kept all my toys in a box. I set up even perkier because, box is just as easy as a fox. The next word is would. I would, like all of you, to do well on this test. Would. Then I stopped perking because sometimes I get mixed up on that one. I wrote down some letters, would. Then I crossed them out. On account of that was the wrong kind of wood, I believed. I tried again. W-O-U-D. I shook my head. That didn't look right either. Fine, I covered my face and I did a groan. Shh. I was steady to turn around to see what was the matter. Then he quick stopped himself. Because no turning around during a test, of course. I looked at what I wrote some more. Then I strained my brain to try and remember how to spell it. Only nothing came to me. And that's when a miracle happened. My friend Herbert came to my rescue. First, he shifted teensy bit in his chair. Then he moved his test paper to where I could see, and he pointed to the word with his finger. My mouth came open at that lovely gesture, 'cause I didn't even ask him to do that. Herb just gave me that word to me, like a gift. I stretched my neck to see better. And yay, as soon as I saw the word, my imagination got sparked, and I remembered the letter perfectly good. I quickly wrote it down on my paper, W-O-U-L-D. Oh, I was just in time. Was already on the next word. Pig, he said, I saw you, pig, pig. Just then I sat in my seat very still, and I did a gulp. I really thought he saw me pig, that's why. Only good news, I was wrong. On account of he didn't see me pig. He didn't. Besides, what I did this time wasn't even bad. Probably because Herb shared that word with me just like we shared words for a poem. And then I looked at her, the blah blah blah, and I put it right off the brain, sort of. Chapter 9, sleeping on it. That night, me and Philip Johnny Bob didn't sleep that good. We tossed and turned a real lot. Also, Philip Johnny Bob talked in his sleep a little bit because I heard him say the word Cheeto pants. I woke him up when I heard that. The both of us got a drink of water, and we talked about what was the trouble. The next morning, our eyes were poopish and droopy. And guess what? We were not the only ones who looked like that either, because when my friend Herb got on the bus, his eyes were poopish and droopy too. He plopped down next to me, and he did a big yawn. I didn't sleep good last night, he said, real tired. Me too, Herb. I didn't sleep good too. Herb sat there in a minute, then he did on the side. Yeah, only I don't even want to tell you why I didn't sleep, he said. Maybe you might get mad at me. I raised my eyebrows at him. Squirmed in his seat, kind of uncomfortable, then he quieted his voice. It's kind of about the spelling test. Oh, I guess I didn't thank you for helping me, did I? I patted his arm. Thank you, Herb. I said, because of you, I would always remember how to spell the word. Yeah, see, but that's the problem, Junie. That's why I didn't sleep last night, because I'm sorry. But I don't feel good. That good about helping you. He squirmed some more. I mean, at the time I thought it would be nice, but as soon as I showed you my test, it didn't feel nice at all. Instead, it felt like, well, it felt like I was a cheater pants. It felt like you were a cheater pants, right, her? That's how come you couldn't sleep last night, correct? Because at first you thought it would be nice to share with me. When as soon as you did it, it felt kind of wrong inside. Looked surprised at me. Yeah, it did, but how did you even know that? Because her? Because? Have you forgotten who you are talking to here? I'm a cheater pants myself, remember? So I know exactly what it feels like. I shook my head. I can't believe it, Herb. I can't believe I did it in 2 days in a row. Cause on Monday I copied May's homework, and yesterday I copied your spelling word. Only at first I tried to pretend that you and me were just sharing. Herb nodded, kind of said, "Yeah, but we won, were we? No, we really won, Herb, on account of sharing." Testy is called it cheating. Did win said they were. I petted him. I know just how you feel. Belly? I said, the word cheater makes you feel like a nasty, rotten, ratty pants who can even be trusted. Herb nodded, then he smiled a little bit. You have a nice way with words, he said. I did a shrug. Actually, Philip Jennifer came up with that one. Herb rode the rest of the way to school without talking. We both felt better. We told on ourselves at recess, me and Hubbard, both of us together. We went to room one after lunch. Okay, we told Mr. Scary that we cheated on the spelling test. Herb explained about how he heard me being upset during the test. He didn't want me to get in trouble with mother and daddy again, so he showed me his answer. So out of the good, then I explained about how that was a lovely gesture by the wizard. But after we did it, we both knew it was wrong, so we will never ever do that again, and we mean it. Listened to us real careful, then he thanked us for our honesty. He said he admired us very much for telling him what we did. He got a test paper and he wrote big zeros right at the top of them on account of even if you get a mark, you still get a zero apparently. I was eating dinner, called my house, and he tattletale to mother right on the phone. At first, mother frowned a real lot. Then me and her and daddy talked about cheating all over again, and I got yelled at a little. But later, when they talked me into bed, they said they were proud of me and her for telling on ourselves. And all of us ended up hugging. Then night, Philip, Johnny, Bob, and I slept very perfect. Only here is the happiest news of all. When me and Herb got to school the next day, Mr. Skitty called us up to his desk and he gave me each of us a special poem that he wrote all by himself. Junie B, bubbly, bouncy, learning, growing, glowing. Your honesty is awesome. Trust it. Mr. Skitty read it to me. After he finished, I smiled real proud. I read it one more time to just myself. The end.